Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Torchlight. And I'm gonna have to keep myself on track to remind myself to call this Torchlight and not Torchwood, the Doctor Who spin-off series that was meh. Frankly, I think like the one final season it had, Miracle Day, was slightly interesting. I want to come back here and just see what the reward is for this portal before we go and do it. You can see we're not even going to get a significantly better item, so we've somehow fallen behind, probably just because the game expected you to run back to the city a lot more than I'm trying to. Of course, running back to the city is something you would do because you're full of inventory, and we certainly are running into that problem. And that is like the one problem I don't think I'm going to be able to ever save, is this idea of being overburdened.
My health is low.
Ooh. How did my health get so low so quickly? This is weird. Like, that's the first time that's happened. And I'm currently at the moment trying to collect the medium-sized health potions, not use them. So there's a danger in potentially using up all the small health potions and then not having enough. Why there are skeletons crawling up out of the ground, I don't know. Ooh. We've got two of these guys firing at once. And it looks like I had a reflect ability there. These guys seem completely immune from poison. I wonder if that's because they're specifically zombies, or if poison only hurts me and my allies. That one blocked our shot. We have a mana potion, mana portal, which makes me think that this is the right way to go, so then this is a side path, it looks like. Yeah. This is another example of just weird design. You have these walls up here that, at the very least, you would have wanted them crumbled. In a way that they weren't blocking your view or see-through, just as the game is trying to be consistent. This game does have a slightly more isometric angle than Diablo does, and so since Diablo was almost completely top-down, if not completely top-down, then you didn't run into those problems. Is there anything else to pick up here? Again, hard to tell with the camera angle. I might as well just not use the well. My weapon is still doing well, very well for me, one-shotting even the medium tier enemies, but we can see, even though my reward level is low, the enemy levels here seem actually rather high, which I guess that is in part what this is all about, is that the general idea is these portals are supposed to be more demanding than the floors that we... What did I do to open that secret portal? Like, that just opened by... It seems like me walking against the wall. How often is that gonna happen? This is like a toilet. It's a bathroom with a bunch of slimes in it. Interesting artistic design here. You can almost guarantee by the looks of this that this is a game where there was 2 teams working, and that's not uncommon at all in games that there would be multiple teams working on level designs, but somewhere there was a level of inconsistency or a change in direction, because I don't think you would have a just out of nowhere toilet design if you weren't going to at some point actually try and use that for something else. Our next big goal, by the way, is to see if we can teach Heal All 2 to the dog. That way the dog will use his mana whenever he feels the need to heal everybody on the team and save our butts, one assumes, a little bit. I also, though, wouldn't be surprised if there is a point where we'll start fighting enemies that'll knock down the boss, knock down the dog, would be my guess. I am in the middle of just a nightmare scenario, and by the way, my spell's not really doing enough damage.
My health is low.
So we were starting to run into that scenario where a slow, strong weapon works well from a distance, but once you start getting
My
overwhelmed,
inventory is full.
you start to run into that problem. Let's kill
I
this,
can't carry anymore.
and it's back to the inventory. I wish I could just hit I twice, but it doesn't work that way. Alright, so identify everything, which it would be nice if there was a spell just called Identify All, or a quicker way to get this to work in general. Alright, so this is no. Town Portal Scrolls. We can sell a stack of 20 of those and hold on to the 3. We have armor that doesn't have any enchantments on it. We have a helmet that has no enchantments on it. Increased experience versus increased experience or increased experience. Over here we have increased experience, and over here we have increased gold find. So I'll switch that out. This one will just sell. It's almost guaranteed that there will be no way that any of the weapons we find will do anything close to the 245 damage we're doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually quite for a while. See, this enchanting this regular heavy leather torso doesn't make sense, even though it is significantly higher in armor rating. That's kind of all it has for going for it. And so yeah, identify scrolls. It'll be the identify scrolls that will drop rather quickly before anything else. It would be so nice if these things just started For the duration of the spell, they are draining life. Alright, fine. I'm gonna teach draining touch 2 to the dog. I don't know how you rank up spells though. Because I have like identify item here. And that's rank 1 of 1. Where this is rank 1 of 11. So either he's gonna get better at using that spell the more he uses it. Or something else is gonna happen. There's a 1 of 11 in heal 1 also. I have really no clue. So visually, while that might be a little distracting, he is now totally happy to have draining touch cast over and over again. And I think he is just gonna do that. So get used to that sound effect. It would have been nice if there was a little bit of a programming element there where spell sound effects don't trigger when you're something's hitting me. Is the dog hitting me? Why would he hit me? I guess the question also will come down to, will the dog regain his own mana, or am I gonna now start tossing him mana vials that he'll drink? Here's another named enemy, and notice that this level
Your fame has increased.
is level, I think, floor 1 of what I assume will be 2 floors for each portal, and I kind of assume we'll get to another portal pretty quickly. Can we do adventurer again? Not right now, so do we want to sit on that? Or do we want to just increase our armor? I think we just get that to the max while we can. Armor requirements going down, increasing our safety, which is actually going to be very much appreciated because we still are getting hit pretty hard when we do get overwhelmed, and it does seem like we get overwhelmed fairly often. Of course, while we're doing this, we also are not progressing the main story forward. We're distracting ourselves. That's how they want you to play the game. They gave you this storyline that you're corrupted with Ember, and you need to save yourself, and then you take all the time you want. This is a problem we've seen with a lot of games. Certainly, like you'll have Fallout 4, for instance. There's a major story you're supposed to follow, but you can take as much time as you want. Skyrim's a great example of that, even better because I'm more familiar with Skyrim and actually played it. You're supposed to be saving the entire world in Skyrim, and yet you can take as much time as you want wandering around, marrying people, joining different guilds, just taking on random quests, searching random caves and mines. I think the main problem I'm having with my armor is I don't have enough poison resist, and or any kind of other resistance, which would be nice to have. And even though I have probably a slightly higher armor rating that causes glancing blows to happen, glancing blows I don't think are ever going to happen that often. Alright. So now we can increase adventurer, and let's see, resistances might be based on magic and defense, or might be based on something else. Yeah, I don't think I need strength though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did that change any of the resistances at all? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that change resistances at all? No. Yeah. So maybe your resistance has nothing to do with anything you've got, and is simply what pieces of armor you have that use resistance. I could believe that. That even as a mage, you don't get any resistances naturally. Maybe there is a skill in your skill tree, but I don't think I'd find that skill and use that skill.
My pack is full.
Alright, now we're back to menu hero. Okay, so we have 4 armor, belt, 15 armor, a wand, a 23 armor tunic. Again, you would really have to enchant it quite a bit though. So we're getting to that point though. We definitely are getting to the point where it's starting to make more sense to think about putting on a 23 armor tunic that has no enchantments, and then going and trying to enchant something more than just leaving things as they are. Here we have a unique pistol, which has a slow attack speed and 1 socket, so that I'll sell. Otherwise I would be using it. Then the things otherwise to get rid of are in a weird position, certainly, because I don't have a lot of room. Right.
Your pet has departed.
So he just runs through a wall, and then 2 minutes down the line, he'll be back. So we'll just fight here. I looked at some of the achievements, by the way. There's, frankly, a ridiculous amount of stuff to do if you're trying to get all the achievements. Fish 1,000 fish. Send the pet to the shop multiple times. Just a ridiculous amount of stuff. Let's see, we're about 12 seconds until he comes back. I can only assume that the timing gets longer, maybe the more you level up, or the more you potentially go deeper down the well, as it were. Like, if you're on level 20, maybe it takes 4 minutes for him to come back instead of 45 more seconds. Yeah, it does seem like he is taking longer. And I suppose it would be an interesting experiment. One would hope it would not glitch out if I was to just leave this area before the pet returns. I would assume that you either get the pet to return to you regardless of where you are, or you automatically get the pet to return if you go back to the city.
My pack is full. Your pet has returned.
There we go. Just as I needed him. Okay. So, identify scrolls, Letterton helmet, belt, wise scale eyepieces. Nope. No. I can just use shift, I forgot about that. And yeah, we're just getting more and more of the same. And frankly, if anything has any kind of ability that is built around increased gold drop, magic find, or experience, particularly experience, which is, in my mind, always the most valuable thing,
You have completed a task.
then there's really no desire in my mind to want to replace that item with anything that doesn't at least improve on what it already does. I said there was level 50. It turns out there's actually at least a level 100 because there's an achievement for level 100. This guy's big, taking a lot of damage and knocking me around a lot, but you can kind of see he's not really hurting me. And I am getting the 5 HP upgrade every time I shoot him, but that's not turning out to be very useful. I had thought stealing 5 HP would have done a lot more damage.
Well, hello.
So we found the ritual scythe. You wonderful partner. I know just where a buyer can be to. Here's your share of the profit. Alright, and so he's got nothing here for me. This is a cracked skull, and this is a cracked core ember. So we could crack skull, and we can transform these together. Let's go ahead and identify this item, and identify this item, and identify this item. Right, this here. Strength versus gold find. Nope. Although that being said, it might be somewhat worthwhile to start thinking about the changing the dog's necklace. There we go. I think we're good. We come over here.
Hi there.
Now the only thing that would stop the dog from using the spell would be if I took him out of his aggressive stance, which he just started the game in aggressive, and there's really no reason to ever take him out of it.
Fortune is kind to
So
you.
dull skull plus another dull skull
Fortune
gives us
smiles
a
on you.
discolored skull, which right now I have in this 5 health, another 10 health would be better, certainly. If I had anything that had a socket, this would also increase my defense, and I think the defense is probably better than gaining health. So there's something to be thought of through that. Let's see what it would cost to
Got some good deals.
place item here to destroy the gems. That's not what we want.
Time. Got some good
So this
deals.
one recovers the gem, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does it by destroying your weapon. So Yeah, I don't feel like this is being explained as well as it probably should be. I'm fairly certain that
Hello there.
that will we cannot enchant those items anyways.
Shoo, off with you.
I've got the finest cut gems and Ember.
Alright, before
See
we
you
do
later.
this, let's look at the dog's necklace. This would be increases physical and external damage, dexterity, and ice resistance versus +4 strength, which his amount of damage is between 94 and 187. I put that on there, it goes to 96 to 192. So I think that probably is a slight improvement.
Hi there.
Right. We have 5,000 gold, approaching 6,000. Let's see. Summon archers 3. Summon a pack of 3 non-moving archers to attack your foes. That'd be 3,000. That'd be interesting to give to the dog, certainly, but it would not be something I would want. Silence enemies, preventing them from using most skills. Here we have a lucky pewter ring. That's rare. Just looking at everything they've got. Training touch 2, which I guess we could give to the dog since we're already down that route, or we could save our money. Charm 1 hurls enchanted to attempt to force an enemy to temporarily fight on your side, and that probably wouldn't be too bad either. But I only have 2 spells that I can do. And so it then would become a question of, do I want to forget a spell in favor of something else? Healing Summon Archers 3 I think probably is our best bet, because I don't think there's a level 4 spell, or if there is a level 4 spell, it's gonna be quite a way from now that it's available. So this is crazy, and it's not really what I wanted to do, because I wanted heal all, but I think we'll try this.
Bye bye.
So, spells, inventory, spells. Let's see, control and left click to unlearn the spell. Oh, so you can unlearn spells eventually. So it'll be interesting if he casts the other spell, or he summons the archers. And then quest-wise, everything else is incomplete, and it doesn't seem like we have anything else we need to do. So, yeah, we are, I think, in a good position now to move back. Unless there's a Midas piece. There's an achievement for transforming your dog into a dog, so, or transforming your pet permanently. So there's an idea there.
I got things
I think you could probably engage with, but just to get that achievement. And that's pretty much it. So let's go back to the dungeon. I have really no idea where we are. It takes about 30 minutes to go through 2 floors of a dungeon. Yeah, alright, we were at the beginning of floor 7, Tomb of the Awakened is where we left ourselves. And whoa. These guys came out of nowhere. Oh, look at all those archers. I thought it was 3 archers. So he'll just summon a group of archers, and I can stand in one place, and they will be my backup. Which this is a efficient way, to say the least, of ensuring that you've got numbers on your side, and we've certainly seen in previous cases that where the dogs and the enemies have overwhelmed me. I almost left this area without investigating it further. The problem is you have skeletons crawl out of the ground like that in that circular pattern, where the archers also seem to come in a pretty semicircular pattern. What's funny is I think the dog is going to end up leveling up his ability faster than I am, because I can't even really train myself to press the right click button and use heal all, which instead of just pressing the number 1 on the number pad. It really is another example of how I think that as much as Torchlight tried to change things, at least on the PC version, they felt the need to hold on to what is now, in my mind, a almost half-dead mentality of needing to play on mouse and keyboard. The console wars kind of have turned us in a different way, in the sense that after the Xbox 360 and was replaced with the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 3 was replaced with the PlayStation 4, neither one of those consoles were particularly impressive iterations. And computers, at least this has been my journey at that point, are no longer second fiddle. It's no longer a case of you've got to reinstall Windows every 6 months, or computers are going to just be a nightmare in general. It's another fishing hole that I'll take no advantage of. I'm going to really try to stick to the no fishing rule. Okay, let's see what we've got and sell some items. If we are seeing a shopkeeper, it's starting to become questionable whether we're always going to see shopkeepers, or whether we're going to potentially run into another boss. Faster speed, no, don't want that. Leather armor that does nothing, no, don't want that. Let's see. This one has more enchantments on it for 1 less armor. But then it has like +2 armor to get up to that point, so it's probably not as good as you would think at all. Let's see, this would be replaced with poison damage and ice damage and strength increase. I need to remind myself to get a dexterity damage. I think you have to buy these map scrolls, and let's buy one, I guess. And let's do a lost dungeon right where we are. Just so we know we've done it, and we know that it's the same thing basically as the side mission dungeons. Well, Wow, that's loud. That's a loud waterfall effect. These guys are kicking my behind. Get away from the waterfall. Pick up everything that's dropped under the skeleton's body. Cast the heal all spell. And then wait a second to just see it actually work. Oh, and the heal all spell's on a cooldown, so you can't cast it all again. We haven't gotten anywhere close to this point yet, where we're dealing with these enemies. So we're kind of seeing a spoiler for floors that we will see later. You can kind of see that this is I'm having to really use the heal all thing. So these are even more difficult and probably completely random levels, whereas the ones in the overworld are probably not random. And all kinds of waterfalls, different designs on things. Got these glowing orbs that are hitting me kind of hard. Giant energy orbs. Grab all everything. There's so many enemies we fought, and so much dropped on the ground that I'm almost certainly missing something. Wow, that sound effect is bad. Look, we can adjust that, can't we? I guess what we'll have to do is live with the sound effects where they are, just because of the loud waterfall sounds, and then we'll maybe turn them back up once we get out of this area, and then turn them back down once these are the kinds of floors that we're seeing all over the place. It's definitely an example of the audio not being normalized, not balanced, as far as how loud it sounds. This, and this, I guess. That's all we needed. So we have an experience gain ring that would do electric damage and magic attribute bonus, versus the attentive copper ring, which would do poison resistance and faster cast speed. I don't want that, I don't think. Knees, increased experience, defense, or 2% increased experience. So do I want magic attack bonus versus defense, 2% defense, or extra do electric damage? Yeah, he's casting these spells but I don't see anything that indicates they are getting better or getting any kind of level of experience. A lot of garbage stuff here. It's possibly better items. Here's a piece of armor that would require a lot of enchanting. But they're not magic drop items. Yeah. That's really what we'd want. That spooked me. And we're going about this in a strange way because now we're getting spoilers and seeing new enemies that, frankly, by the time we get into the main game and see these characters, will be bored with the skeletons and goblins that we've been fighting consistently up until this point. And then we'll stop seeing the skeletons and goblins completely, and then we'll move on to, there's no reason for that to be open, seeing a bunch of these and get bored of seeing these. You can definitely feel that there's a different aesthetic here. Instead of having anything that's like a hallway, you have a lot of just platforms that are connecting and a lot of spawn places where enemies are just going to come out of their hole if you walk in front of it. They don't even seem like they're particularly eager to fight you. A lot of just walking to a platform and there being nothing on the platform except for one, perhaps, pile of gold. I assume that the mushrooms explode. The flying wisps is what I guess I would call those. Seem to be the powerhouses, the equivalent of the specters and ghosts that we've been seeing. Remember, I paid 250 gold, which is not an insignificant amount of money, but it approaches that, certainly. Alright. So I want more of this for safety's sake, and then I want more of that, like just more defense in general, and I want more adventurer to increase experience gain and fame gain, and the plan here is coming together quite nicely where we're going to gain multiple levels. One would assume you can't reach level 100 and retire a creature character before you've finished the main story, and one assumes that it won't be so incredibly, insanely overpowered at level 100 that you don't have any problems at all at level 100. So I want to definitely see some challenge still, even if I do prematurely by even 10 or 20 levels reach the maximum. I wouldn't be surprised though if I'm putting my cart before the horse and it turns out that actually unless you play this way, you will never make it to level 100. I wouldn't be surprised if playing on easy it's actually rather more difficult. Right, so that's at max 10. So our next deal will be magic weapons expertise. We'll just try and increase that to the maximum if we can't do adventurer. The other thing we could put levels into is pet mastery, make our pet stronger, and then eventually we're going to get to barter, and that's our main goal. It really doesn't matter what skills you have if you can just buy your way out of problems, and in most games you can buy your way out of problems by having really powerful weapons that you either find or buy, and having a near unlimited amount of gold. There is definitely a case of a bad message that gets sent in games like this. The idea that you could become this adventurer, and adventurers ever existed this way, where they were doing a noble deed, and because of that noble deed they were able to kill monsters who were clearly the bad guys and effectively rob them. Even if you were to, in the real world, be capable of being some kind of sheriff, hunter, killing bad guys, you don't, as a police officer, I guess would be the closest example here, you don't get an exemption from theft as a police officer. You can't just go through a criminal's pockets and take whatever you want. Not saying it doesn't happen, it almost certainly does happen quite a lot more than you would think, but morally and legally speaking, that's not the situation. Whereas almost every game works around the concept of you're a monster. If you're playing a fantasy game, you're killing monsters and they're dropping gold. Maybe deep in the lore you can justify that the monsters stole that gold in the first place from someone else, and thus you're reclaiming it, but you're not really giving it back to the people that the monsters would have stolen it from either. And if you get into the deeper economics of it, the entirety of the economy of most games are centered, it seems, around heroes going through caverns and caves and robbing people, robbing monsters. We need to play some mini hero. I may have to send this guy back too. We are not doing well. We're getting a lot of garbage. Let's see, we have a spell here. Draining Touch 2. Right, so if I do this and do this, it doesn't work. So yep.
Your pet has departed.
And this path there. Somehow my heal all spell has also turned into a thing. So yeah, this path is all over the place, so I don't know if I'm going the right direction or not. I guess I was being thorough. Of course, now you've got kind of a dead spot here of silence. They seem to really love to split this so that you're going in circles. which kind of makes sense. It opens up for a chance that you would have gone a safer path or a more dangerous path, and makes it feel like the game has branching paths when really it doesn't, particularly right now. But we are in such a bad position, as I'm now playing by myself without the dog. As soon as the dog returns, I'm going to have so much inventory that
Your pet has returned.
I'm going to have to send him right back out again. That. And as much as this game tries to... Did he sell the spell? Yes, he did. Alright. As much as this game is trying to have it feel like we're... what was I gonna say? I lost my thought. Yeah, as much as this game tries to speed up the experience, we can see in this Lost World, it has decided to do the exact opposite of that and give me a considerable amount of extra garbage, which I can only assume means that you come to these lost levels in particular when you are trying to grind for money. And I don't know where you really would have gotten that message though. Like, yeah, maybe these are tougher guys, so maybe the message should have been said later in the game, and will be said later in the game, that you do these lost sections when you are particularly trying to find items or trying to get gold, or need to just grind a little bit more. Again, it feels like a significant different experience if depending on the difficulty. Let's see this. You have level 9 boots. Let's just identify everything first. Right. So this is a shield. We're not going to be using a shield. These are rare boots that would give us faster attack speed, faster cast speed, and faster movements. These are Gorgon boots. Plus, they, I am thinking, do everything better than what we've got by far. So we are putting on a different art style. Unfortunately, you really can't mix and match to a full set, except for on the perhaps few instances where you are you have a full set of all the items, and this would increase our, like, I don't think it actually increases anything until you have 2 pieces anyways, so I may very well quickly change out of the boots again. Yep. And send
Your
him
pet has departed.
back to the store. Put this back here because I have to do that every time. I feel like there's probably a way to fix that, but I don't know how. Maybe if I went to a second, no, that's just a secondary weapon. So I could carry a secondary weapon, and you would switch with the W button while playing, which Let's hit the W button right now. It doesn't do anything because I don't have anything equipped. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of weapon I would want. We're doing pretty good with a super overpowered regular weapon. I could maybe get a shield and sword, but that's not my hero class, so it probably should be something that's a slightly slower magic based attack. Would be my best guess as to what my secondary layout should be. But I don't really imagine I'll run into too many even bosses where it would make sense to take your time and slowly cast a spell on them and hope that they die from like poison or being freezed.
Your pet has returned.
Yep, he returns and he's back into the fray. Not a significant amount of money, really, collected. 700. It was some money, certainly, but not enough. And at this level, the splitting of these pathways is wide enough that I'm not 100% certain I'm actually going to be able to clear out the whole area. I don't think you have to clear out the whole area because then that would be really frustrating, frankly. Nothing's coming out from over here, nothing's coming out from over here. But yeah, definitely going in circles. This way, I guess. Clicking away. Stairs down. I was not expecting it to go even further. So I kind of hope what I'm gonna find is that this is a boss. Ooh. These guys are strong. They seem to have some kind of rage on them. They're getting something cast on them, some kind of spell that is speeding them up. We can definitely feel how speed is playing a much bigger role here than I think it did in Diablo. Like I've seen people speedrun Diablo 1 and not run into enemies that wandered around or needed to move as fast as this feels like is required. There we go.
You have triggered a trap.
And did we clear everything in this mini boss fight section? It seems like we did. Seems like we cleared everything. Seems like we killed everybody. It's kind of weird to have to load and go down the stairs for a boss fight. That just feels like bad decisions in general. Bad gameplay design, bad level design. And yeah, we're we're back to where we were, which actually turned out to be a very nice place to be because of the fact that we are sitting, just happen to be right next to the right next to a salesman. Right. So let's sell what we've got. 260 for a pile of those. And see, this very possibly should be enchanted, but I don't think I'd want to do that. I think we could probably sell those and be perfectly happy too. And yeah, we could buy one more of those if we wanted. We could also buy more of these spells, these healing potions, which I think we're still kind of fine with. Or we could buy different things here. Cracked core ember. Health recovery per second. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. And I cracked core ember. Just buy that. And I don't think that any of these rings or anything I would want. I kind of do have enough money where I could go crazy in buying the gems, but I would also kind of hope that eventually that fixes itself and there's more of a reason to not buy gems, because it's just, it'll be something that we pick up. The dog's inventory was empty because we'd sent him to the store a couple times before. So let's do the whole shuffle here. Inventory. We have a whole bunch of identify scrolls that we should sell while we're at it. Forgot about those. Inventory, character sheet. We are, look how he automatically will walk towards gold if you just stand around long enough, by the way. We are at level 14 of level 100, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is more of an indication that we are close to a quarter of the way of the main game done. I don't think I'll be buying any more of the ability or portals. That doesn't seem like that's anything that I want to do. I have been using heal all, and I don't see how to get the rank up on these spells unless it is a fame thing, and I've been, and there's a red box at that point. Still, we need to put into, this is at the maximum. Next we could start putting things into pet mastery if we can't put things into this, but at level 15 we can actually put something more into this. Yeah, so our main goal is to get adventurer up to rank 10. Journal, we can see some numbers here, not even a lot of numbers compared to a lot of RPGs. Pet sheet, looks fine. His health and his mana and his spells, which he's doing very well with the spells, but I don't again know how you rank up in the spells, particularly for him, because that definitely wouldn't be a skill at that point. Here we have the heal all button assigned. I probably should just put heal all, frankly, here, and then I'll just hit 4 every time to heal all, and then that solves the issue of it going in the wrong place. I don't think I've ever used frost, and we've got an empty slot here for no reason. Let's see what else. We've got our quests. We're still working on our quest to find Shimmering Deep, which is the main story. Find Overseer's library, and defeat somebody on the 10th floor, and we're at the 7th floor. It's been a while, certainly. We're doing all these side quests. This is the main story, actually, a cure for the corruption. Where are we? Otherwise, auto map and escape. Yep, that's where we are. So another hour, decent amount of progress, but also a lot of side tracks. It seems like if you go into a portal and do any kind of side mission, it's easily 30 minutes of gameplay extra. That being said, it's probably overpowering me for the main story, so I imagine we aren't ever going to run into a main story boss on easy that gives us any trouble. We weren't running into any bosses that were giving us any trouble to start with, so I might have to find some side missions if I want any challenge, but I kind of don't, because I don't really care to find any challenge in Torchlight 1, because I just want to really move on to Torchlight 2, and I doubt the characters are going to carry over. I doubt anything like that is going to matter. So I just want to kind of finish the story experience and have a somewhat normal experience, but what would be a normal experience for somebody playing this game in 2019, 10 years after it came out in 2009, not a normal experience for somebody playing it in 2009 who probably was playing this. I wouldn't be surprised if this came out 4 months before Diablo 3 came out on the Xbox 360. So it really came out at the right time, and then Diablo 3 had some problems when it was originally released with its open marketplace, and just not really feeling like anything had improved since Diablo 2's times, that I could see people playing Diablo 3 for a little bit and then going back to Torchlight. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.